How you guys doing today?
Good.
Dude,
Good.
fantastic.
Bobby, thank you for coming.
Hey,
Neil
thank
is
you for having me.
intimidated. I'll tell you that right now. He doesn't know all the entire package. He just sees, the axes, you know what I mean? Like the extra large sweatshirt that's there because of muscle. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you
it's
know.
actually it's actually Ali. The kids call it a pump cover. You want to
See,
look like you're just like a normal guy, and then you take your hoodie off, and you just look stacked with muscles. So this is my
I'm at
pump
the
cover.
opposite. I'm literally like putting on my wife's sweatshirt because I can finally fit into it.
Yeah, no, this is my pump cover.
Damn.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got my pump cover as well
I like it.
from the Gap.
I
So
like it.
watch out, everybody.
that's true. That's true. Oh my god, this is exciting. How are we doing this? By the way, Bobby, you're our first guest, which isn't to say we're unprofessional or anything like
I
that.
mean, I mean, all the people in the universe you could have me, and that's not a bad choice.
No, there we go. Should
You're
we?
biased, but we agree, and that's
Yeah.
why we're happy to have you here. And first of all, lovely to meet you, Bobby. Thanks for
You as
joining
well.
us on World's Greatest Dad, episode 10.
All
Um,
right.
Well,
Yeah, they're not all out there in the world, but they will be, and we're excited to introduce you to our audience. And I'm going to shut up for a minute because you don't know me, but you know Ollie, and Ollie's going to intro you and tell us who you are, and we're going to
All
just
right.
mix
I
it up.
know. Drum roll, please. And, if we don't get this right, we'll fix it in post. But on World's Greatest Dad, it is my extreme pleasure to introduce not only our first guest, but an incredible man of stature. And you're here because you probably already know him because he's got probably the world's greatest name, Bobby Maximus, former UFC champion. Oh, wait, former
No.
UFC uh, for you were in the UFC. There
Yes,
we go.
I was in. Now listen, straight up.
Yes.
I would love to have been a UFC champion. That was
Yeah.
not in the cards for my career.
Yeah.
I was a UFC competitor. I won in the
Okay.
UFC. I won submission of the night in the UFC. The belt was something that always eluded me. But that's I mean, in your world, not everybody gets a Michelin star.
Now, you know what? That's I. Although I would say this, I would say the belt signifies a little bit more than a Michelin star, in
Fair.
my opinion. But you have won a world championship in jiu-jitsu. Tell me about that.
Yes, I'm a world masters black belt champion. Extreme honor to be able to do that. I mean, you know what? The truth is that anything in life, I don't care whether you're a jiu-jitsu competitor, you're a chef, you're an artist, it feels really good to get your hard work rewarded. Like
One hundred
just to
percent.
get recognized by your peers, to win something that's meaningful. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what it is or if somebody else understand it. It's just like that feeling that yeah, the hours that I've put in, the blood, sweat, tears, that this was worth it. That like one shining moment of glory. So something I'm pretty proud of.
I have to say, because you brought it up with food, and I'm the first person, whether it's a legitimate awards, that happen to actual, chefs in restaurants, or, what we've created with food TV and the fun that creates. One thing that is real is the hard work
Yep.
that it took to get you even into the ring. And
Yeah.
so that to me has always been, I mean, legitimately attending James Beard Awards and you see these people, grown people crying, that's as real as it gets. So
Oh yeah,
I
and
feel
I'll
you
tell you
there.
too. I'll tell you too, and you understand this. Sometimes it's not even an award. Like sometimes it's just you come over to my house for dinner. I work really hard to make something. And
Yeah.
you tell me genuinely, man, that is the best burger I've ever had. That's the best salad I ever had. That's the best mac and cheese I ever had. Like, whatever it is, that's a really, really good feeling that I think is universal to everybody, just to get some recognition for putting in a bit of effort.
I'll tell you, I'll share you this. I'm not, the problem is people kind of assume because of what I've done on TV and stuff that, I'm a chef and I'm not a chef, right? However, I had a moment. I had a bunch of my son's friends over. We had a smash burger party, and I decided to make one that was like it was a dumpling smash burger. So I basically made a patty out of stuff you would have in like a shumai, so ground pork, scallion, shrimp, whatever. There was a kid there, right? And he's into food. He's totally into food. And he's pretty like very particular. He'd be like, no, 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 I don't want any of this sauce. I just, very particular and is into food. I made him this freaking pork dumpling smash burger, and he was just like, what? Like, this is the thing. He's a kid. He's not going to bullshit,
Yeah.
And he was legit into it, and I was through the moon. It was awesome.
What a great feeling. What a great feeling,
Yeah. Also, since we're still introing your many accolades, you're one of the 100 most fittest men of all time. Can you kind of elaborate on that exactly? Because
you're used to this from the food world, but every so often, like a major media outlet comes up with a list, right?
Yeah.
Like the 100 best chefs in America, the top restaurants in Austin, like whatever it is. And Men's Health did a list, the 100 fittest men of all time. And I made the list.
Dude.
And the big honor about something like that is there's always arguments in the comments, right? Like, is this guy actually number 1? Is he actually number 10? Is he number 77? Is he number 99? None of that matters. The fact that you're on that list means that you made it in your industry. Like the fact that editors at Men's Health sat down and said, who are the 100 fittest people of all time? The fact I made that list, that's like a lifelong accomplishment to even be mentioned in the same breath as like an Olympian like Michael Johnson or an Olympian like Michael Phelps or the greatest CrossFitter of all time, Rich Froning. Like to just get on that list means the world to me. You could have put me anywhere between 1 and 100 and I would have been over the moon.
When did you make that list?
Man, that was like 2000 and I should really know this for what a big deal it is, man. It was like 2014, 2015, 2016, somewhere in that stretch.
Are
you more fit? Are you more fit or less fit than you were in 2014?
I want to say I'm more fit, but that would be a lie. The reality is the one person that's undefeated in the world is Father Time. Now, do I look as good? Yes. Do I feel as good? Man, some days I wake up, I'm 46 years old. Sometimes my knees hurt. Sometimes my neck hurts. Sometimes my back hurts. I wonder, is this like, am I hurt or is this just the way I am now because I'm older? And the reality is, if you look at a guy like LeBron James, who at 40 years old is unreal in the NBA.
Yes.
But is he as good? Can he play as many minutes?
Right.
Is he as explosive as when he's 28? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like age is just something that catches us. So I want to say yes, but the truthful, genuine answer is, man, I'd like to think I'm still somewhat maintaining. Like if I'm going to keep it a buck, I'm somewhat maintaining. But I don't know if I could do what I was doing when I was 28 or 29 years old.
It's amazing because I have the complete opposite path. I'm in better I'm actually getting stronger now, but it's all, what I'd say, this is the biggest thing is it's all the journey, and I think something you've told me is like, when we worked out together, you were like, look I've been doing this for a long time, and I remember he was surprised, Neil, when he was like, he's like, are you sore? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm okay. Like not so bad. Not so bad. One more accolade. And I I can't even do the really hardcore one. We'll do the simple one. World's most powerful nerd. You have another side to you. I mean, we all do. But why don't you explain what the world's most powerful nerd means?
I mean, I don't know. You see my hands here, right?
Yeah. Arm's
reach. You ready? This is my work desk. Got all the Magic the Gathering cards. I am working on my new Eldrazi deck. This is Emrakul, the Promised End. This guy's a bad MRFer. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to swear in this thing, not swear in this thing. I'm trying to keep it PG.
We're figuring it out.
But this dude right here, this is like a heavy hitting card. And I love Magic the Gathering. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love Lord of the Rings. You mentioned the axes on the wall; those were actually used in The Hobbit.
Whoa.
Being a nerd has been something that's been a huge part of my life. Actually, you could probably see in the background that's Barad-dûr. That's Sauron's house, the evil wizard from the Lord of the Rings.
I know Sauron.
There, right?
Like,
So I mean, like, it's just like a huge, huge passion of mine. And I tell you, working out's a passion, and it is. But like two things that have always been a huge passion of mine behind the scenes are cooking and food. Like you and I connected a lot on that, and nerd stuff. Like a lot of people think that like, oh, this guy just works out all day. And I mean, yes, I do. I work out a lot. It's a part of my life. But when I'm in my most quiet moments, when I'm hanging out, like this is probably what I want to do, or try some new recipe and like mess around. So what's most powerful nerd?
The way we connected also speaks to, I think, how all this stuff makes sense, which is we connected over social media. You had me on your podcast. What's that, 2019? It was a while ago, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago. I think it was 2019 or 2020. It was a while ago. And then we just, we stayed friends.
Yeah. And I've always found, your stuff inspiring. And I find it inspiring because it's not... it's, as you said, it's not just one dimensional. You're not just like, okay, cool, here's a good tricep exercise. The food stuff obviously reverberates with me, but at the same time, food is essential to fitness, period.
Yep.
I mean, right?
But yeah, it is. But I was going to actually take that a whole nother direction. Now, here's the deal. You asked me if I think I'm as fit at 46 as I was when I was in my 20s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the social media answer to that is yes, I'm the fittest 46-year-old on the planet. I improve every single year. I wake up at 4:30 and eat the souls of my enemies and rub banana peels on my eyes. And I have this whole routine and this like whole thing. But honestly, that's not real, right? The fitness industry is so saturated with garbage and BS and fake bravado. The male influencer area, like I can't stand the term alpha. Like I'm an alpha male. I'm going to rip people's faces off. And you got to pretend that I don't know, what are the top 3 predators that people want to be? A shark, a wolf, a lion, like a whatever it is.
I'm not apex predator.
I'm not a sheep. I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rah, rah, rah. Like, okay, here we go. I'm just trying to keep it 100% real. And when it comes to food, yes, food is a part of fitness. Yeah, you got to pay attention to your diet somewhat. But you know what every one of us have in common? We have some beautiful memory that's associated with food. We went on a trip once and we had the best burger or best taco we've ever had. We really love our cheat day. We love to have like a good, like these people that would have you believe that they lick blueberries and like eat boiled chicken breast all day. That's just not true. And it's a lie. And so what I try to do is I try to be as real and authentic as possible online. You know what? I'm going to show you my cards. You don't like it? There's a million other fitness accounts you can follow. I'm going to show you the food that I eat. You don't like it? There's a million other fitness accounts you can follow. I'm going to show you my weaknesses. I'm going to show you my strengths. If you like it again, you can. I always tell people this all the time. You don't like my content, the unfollow button is just a click away.
When you brought up like some of the influencers, I feel like you may have did a little like video clip on Insta or something showing some of these guys. But you brought up the guys who lick blueberries and eat boiled chicken breast. I'm sure you've seen this guy, and I maybe it's you, Bobby. Maybe I was clicking on your stuff, and then the algorithm started feeding me other people. But there's this guy. He looks like this guy. He looks like a wrestler, like crazy jacked, older-ish guy. He's not in his 20s for sure. Big beard. And he's like, kind of looks like if I did cast like a caveman, you know what I mean? He looks like a caveman, and he's eating all his food, and it's all like, I don't know, caveman-y food. And I swear to God, he just eats an egg. Like he just eats a freaking egg with the shell on him. Have you seen that guy? Have you seen that?
All this stuff, and it's for shock value. Nobody actually eats like this. Like that's my thing is like just show me dude, just listen, just show me what you actually eat. Not this nonsense. It's like, you know what I should do? If I want to go viral on social media, I should make a shake. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to call my shot right now.
Okay.
I am going to do a reel, a short, a TikTok, and I'm going to say the ultimate muscle building shake. And the cover photo is going to be a picture of like eggs, a steak, a chicken breast, like a popsicle, like just like a whole like amalgamation of stuff. A rack of ribs, and I'll throw it in a blender, and then I'll drink it, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is your ultimate muscle building shake," and just put it out to the world. That's the stuff that does well on social media. Like people want to believe it can't be that you just showed up and worked out every day. It can't be that you just paid attention to ingredient quality. It can't be. No, you have to have some secret. You have to have some hack. You have to have some ostentatious thing no one's ever heard of. That's what people want these days. You know what I mean?
Speaking of viral, I know this. You've been doing really well with all your content, and you know everyone loves to say like, "Oh, it's because he's authentic," but it's like, no, you're just you. Authentic is still trying to be something. You're clearly like you have figured out what your messaging is, and so I just want to throw these out there too. Some of my favorite posts that you've ever done, right? One of my favorite ones is you're on the treadmill, you're running, and you're like, for the next 5 weeks, and it'll be, you know, no soda. I mean, very like realistic things for like 5 weeks. Can you do no soda? Can you work out every day? Eat, and then the last one will be eat more steak. And I think that's something very interesting because I know I've seen posts back when Insta was just a photo sharing thing, and you post a steak, and in the comments people will be like, "What's your cholesterol?" Or you know what I mean? Because it opens up a whole line of comments, right? I'd love to get your thoughts on that because you love steak.
Yeah. So here's what it comes down to with diet, right? The number one diet you can follow, the best thing you can do nutritionally, is to just eat as close to nature as possible. So the rules are simple. You got to be able to murder it and cook it over a fire, or you got to be able to pluck it from a tree and eat it in its natural state. So what does that leave you with? Steak, chicken, fish, turkey, I don't know, avocado, banana, blueberry. Somebody's like, "Can I have some pizza?" I'm like, "Well, if you can find a pizza tree, sure. But if there's no pizza tree, you don't get it. Can I have French fries?" "Well, is there a French fry tree?" "There's no French fry tree. You can't have French fries." If you ate like that, you would be one of the healthiest people on the planet. It is literally that simple. But people struggle. People eat their Doritos, they drink their soda, they have their processed food, and they lack accountability, right? They're unwilling to look themselves in the mirror and say, "Oh, maybe it's because I have a bad diet." It's got to be because of some secret food, some superfood they've never heard of or something. So when you put up these lists, they're so shockingly simple. It triggers a cognitive dissonance in people where they can't comprehend it because they're like, "It can't be this easy." Well, it actually is. You're just not willing to do the work. People talk about this being hard, and I want you to put something in perspective. No chips, no soda, no. How does this guy live? Ali, you've eaten at a lot of good restaurants, correct?
Yeah.
If you went to like a Gordon Ramsay signature restaurant, if you went to the French Laundry, Thomas Keller in California, one of the most famous, restaurants in the world. If you went to Che Fico in San Francisco, if you went to like an official Cat Cora restaurant, like whoever your chef is, like Hubert Keller or whoever, Danielle Boulot, if you went to his restaurant, would you expect to find Cheetos or Doritos or gummy worms on the appetizer list? And the answer is no. So I'm not even asking you to like suffer. I'm just asking you to eat good, wholesome food that you would find at your average run-of-the-mill Michelin star restaurant. Like, I'm not even asking you to sacrifice, but people get so triggered by it. And that's what it is. It's that cognitive dissonance.
The mental game. All right, so producer Neil.
Well, there's one credit you missed, Ali, and this is the most important one. More important than World's Strongest Nerd, more important than UFC competitor. And really, the reason you're here is your dad. And we're
Yes.
dads.
Yes, yes,
And
Yes.
yeah.
you're the world's greatest dad. And so is
I
Allie.
would like, man, I wish it's in the other room. I had a plaque my kids made me. I don't know if I can show it on the show, but it literally says on it, world's best fucking dad.
Yeah, we can clear it. We can clear
All right.
it.
I'm like,
Well,
here we go,
yeah,
guys. This is the thank you for my little plaque that you made me. I love it.
yeah.
They made
Oh,
that for you?
They made that for me.
how old are your
How-
kids, Bobby?
I got a 16-year-old, I have an 8-year-old, and I have a 5-year-old.
Wow.
16, 8, 5. You know, Ollie's got a 13-year-old son. I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old boy. Yeah, we're kind of like, and that's just so you know, Bobby. Like, we speak to all dads. We speak
Yep.
to dads who are maybe not dads yet, about to be dads, and they're like nervous. We speak to, you know, people who have like grown children and are dealing with like, what do I do with my 25-year-old kid? And we're like all over the map because I think, and that's what we're also like curious about from you because you have this expertise in the world of fitness, in the world of competition. But like, how does that all work with like the most important job, you know? Because like, yes, we all have hopes and dreams and stuff, passions, but like at the end of the day, there's people relying on us who we love unconditionally. And like, how have you found that fatherhood has worked with your entrepreneurship, your fitness journey? Like, how does it all work together?
So I don't know if it does work together. Now here's the deal. There's a societal pressure that you have to be a perfect dad. What is a perfect dad? That's such an esoteric, hard thing to define. And we can get wrapped up in what's the right decision to do as a parent. How am I doing the best by my kids? Because I think everybody wants to see their kids live a better life than they did. I think everyone wants to see inherently. If I was to ask you two gentlemen your greatest wish, and it's to see my kid grow up happy and strong and fulfilled and have a good life, right? The scary thing about being a dad is you don't know if you're doing a good job or a bad job until it's way too late. Like at some point, we're going to have a drink together and I'm going to like, man, my 30-year-old kid turned out good. Or, man, this kid's in jail. Like, what did I do? Like, did I mess up? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you don't know. And I use the jail example and I use that very specifically because not all people that go to jail are bad. Sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes you made a bad decision. It doesn't mean you're a horrible person, but you could be guilt wrenched as a parent at what happens to your kid. They could go through a divorce and you could blame yourself. Like, does that stem to some parenting decision you made when you're 8 years old? So with all that said, and that's a huge preamble, the way I've decided to parent is just let go of all that pressure and do the best that I can. I try to spend a lot of time with them. I wish I could spend more. I try to give them the stuff that I never had. I wish that I could give them more. When I mess up, I apologize to them. That's a big thing. I'm like, Dad is sorry. I tell them I'm stressed. Dad is really stressed today. Dad's having a bad day, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. Can I get a hug? Like, I just try to be as real as possible with them and just do the best job I can. And hopefully that's enough.
Mm. Do your kids follow? I mean, do they see you? I mean, you have a 16-year-old. I imagine he might be able to jump on some weights with you. Like, have you shared like
Yeah,
your
they
exercise
share a lot of my passions, right? Like they work out, they do jujitsu, they do taekwondo. My kid actually just won the AAU state championship in taekwondo. My 8-year-old Jax won a jujitsu tournament a couple of months ago. They play the Magic the Gathering with me. We play video games together. Like we share a lot of common interests. But when I say I try to do the best that I can, I've also let go of the pretense of trying to be the dad. Like, because I'm a 46-year-old man, I'm too cool to play with these cards, or I'm too cool to go watch the Minecraft movie, or I'm too cool to play video games. Like, I think we have this idea that a dad has to be buttoned up and stuff. And listen, man, I am a 7-year-old with a credit card and a gang of best buddies. That's like how I would describe my parenting. And we roll together and do all kinds of fun stuff. In fact, just yesterday we got back from a family vacation. We went to a place called Outpost X, which is a Star Wars themed like Airbnb. And it was awesome. We drove little Land Cruisers. We like
Well, wait,
stayed in
how do you drive a
Skywalker.
Land Cruiser? What do you like? You mean a Toyota Land Cruiser? Like
No,
a thing
no,
that
no, no, no.
floats?
They made them, and I wonder if I can pull up a little video here. Let me
Dude,
see.
I think
Yeah,
you might be the most fun dad. I mean, are you hearing this, Neil? I didn't think that. I mean, look, we took our kid to Legoland, you know, but the
Here we go.
rides
We
were
ready?
not that interesting. It
Here.
was fun though. What the frick, dude?
This is Tatooine.
Dude, that is tripping me out, man. No
Yeah, dude, look at that.
freaking way. Also, I assume this was in Utah?
Yeah, it's in Utah. Oh, we have actually a visitor here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let me
Oh,
see what
wow.
we got. This is my
Phone.
package deliverer. Come on here. I'm on a podcast about being a dad. This is my guy right here. This is
Wow.
Hunter. Hunter, say hi to my friends. It's a package from Grandma Peggy. You can go upstairs and you can open this, okay? Hey, I love you too, buddy.
Wow. There it
My
is.
guy.
I mean, that was
Well
gold right
timed.
there.
But here's the other thing. They know that they come before work. You want it like here's the other thing about being like you call being authentic or whatever. I am that dad that if I got invited to an award show, my kids are coming. If I'm going to the Magic the Gathering convention, my kids are coming. You don't like it, don't have me on your show.
Yeah.
If my kids want to come on my podcast, they can come on my podcast. Like a dad, you just come on, man. Like I don't ever want to be that dad that's shutting their kids away. You want to come to the gym with me? Come to the gym with me. Like we're best buddies. If anything, my fault as a dad is I err a little bit on the side of I had a moment yesterday. My 8-year-old called me bro. He goes,
Oh,
bro,
I'm
where
used
we
to
lunch?
that.
And I'm like,
That's how we roll. We roll like
like,
that.
I'll let it
Yeah.
go. You're my bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I err too much on the side, maybe, of them being my friend, but that's what I want their memory to be of me. I don't ever want them to have a memory of like, dad couldn't spend time with me, or dad was too cool to play with me, or dad like. I don't want to be the guy and this will take you back a few years, but I don't want to be the guy in business slacks in a collared shirt sitting on the bench at the park pretending to spend time with their kids while they're on their BlackBerry. You remember those things? Like that's not what I
Yeah.
want to be. I want to be on the monkey bars with them.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely lean on the side of being, and you'll hear this, especially in those other dad podcasts, is like, "Oh, you can't be their friend, you got to be their dad." And I can only speak for myself, really, judge myself, but it's like I definitely lean on the side of like, oh, more
Yeah.
friend, you know.
Yep.
I don't know. I also think too, my kid's an only child, so it's good for him to have someone he can also like kind of like hang out and play with, because I grew up as
Yeah.
an only child too, and it's weird when you don't have siblings that you can just be kids with, you know.
Yep.
It's interesting because your kids have taken to your interests, and obviously they seem to be invested because of the progression they've made in things like martial arts and stuff like that. How did you like introduce them to it? Like, and this is the thing, because sometimes it's like, oh, I want to, you know, I could say in my instance, it could be like, oh yeah, like let's come out and grill and stuff together. And my kid has cooked, but I never really kind of pushed it on him or whatever. Like, how did you introduce your kids to some of the things that they're into now that also happen to mirror your interests as well?
Well, there's two things here. First of all, the stuff that I'm into is just really cool. Everyone likes it. Like, name me a person that genuinely doesn't like good food. The answer
fair.
is no one, right? Like every single person on the world likes good food. Every single person in the world likes gaming and Marvel movies. Like, do you have any idea how big the gaming industry is?
True.
It's 3 times the fitness industry. Like, it is massive. Who doesn't like going to watch the Avengers? Who doesn't like watching Lord of the Rings? Who doesn't like those type of things? And I think people that don't like them, they're trying to be too cool or trying to be too much of an adult. Like, what would like, Neil, let me ask you a question. What did the 7-year-old Neil want? I
Oh,
bet you'd think that was pretty cool right now. There's actually a moment. There's a show I watch called Jack Reacher. It's on Prime, and I absolutely love it. And there's a touching moment between a father and a son, and they have a disconnected relationship. The dad wasn't the greatest dad. Mom died. They're struggling. And the kid's trying to think how he can connect with his dad. And he remembers his dad told him a story about this little like BB gun he had when he was 7 years old. And he ran around the woods with it all day. And it was like the one story he remembered from his dad. And he didn't know, his dad's loaded, didn't know what to buy his dad for his birthday. And he bought his dad this BB gun, right? And the dad was crying and they had a moment and they really connected. Like that dude who has everything in the world, who's loaded, who has the Mercedes, who has the Bentley, who has the jet, who has all the stuff. You know what he wanted? He wanted to be that little 7-year-old kid again. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so
I very much know what you're saying. I'm going to run to my son's room right now and show you how much I understand what you're saying. Talk amongst yourselves. Hang.
all right. So
Really?
he gets it, right, Ali? So the thing
Yeah.
for me, the thing for me is a lot of the stuff I like is very kid oriented. So like why, like I'm looking around for stuff right now, but like why wouldn't you like a card with a dragon on it? Why
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
you like to build like the Lord of the Rings Legos? All right, show me.
So, my parents were like, "Hey, we've got a bunch of your old stuff. Like, we're gonna toss it if you don't." Dad was like, "Please do not." So mixed in, and my wife, it drives her crazy. A lot of them are headless. I have like all my old
Oh,
figurines.
Oh,
love it.
And I only
TMNT.
remember this guy. And they're all, and so it brings me so much joy to watch my kids play with them. And like, in a weird way, it's like my child self
whoa.
with their kids. Like, because I'm like, it's like the ghost of my 7-year-old self playing with my 7-year-old, like, but I'm there. I'm not dead. It's weird. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's
Yep.
got,
So I would, you already ran, but I want to go run now and I have almost every Masters of the Universe figure
Oh,
and castle
yeah.
ever created. And
Yeah.
those are in our toy room, right? And they love them. We watch the old He-Man episodes together. Now I'm obviously in my office, but these are like the Turtle DVDs and we'll break this out. It's the entire series and we'll
Whoa.
watch this stuff.
Shut
Like,
up.
like they
Dude.
love this. And we have all the Legos and all the toys and all the things. So like what kid wouldn't love those things? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they have a dad that allows himself to be a kid sometimes. Now that's
Yeah.
part of it. The second part of it is I genuinely love this stuff. Like
Yeah.
this, you're in my office right now. So you see the UFC things, but look at this camera now. There we go. We have Aragorn. We have Rivendell. We have like a Monopoly poster. We have a Legend of Zelda poster on the wall. Like we've got Lord Muzan from the Demon Slayer show.
Dude,
Like,
I know Lord Muzan. My kid
Yeah.
calls him Michael Jackson because
Yep,
of the
we
hat.
he kind of does have a Michael Jackson thing going
Yeah.
on. We have like all the things. And so I'm genuinely passionate about this too. They're passionate about it. Like it's hard when your dad's really genuinely into something, it's hard for you not to be. Like it's almost infectious.
It's interesting, like, I just thinking about the fact that maybe, and it might be a generational thing. It was definitely a big difference between my dad and me, and then my son is like, yeah, like I'm into like stuff that's like toys. Like my dad was never I don't think he had toys. You know what I mean?
Nope.
I don't think he really grew up with toys. So, I mean, I literally, for me, it was Transformers. And like,
Yep.
we gave him some stuff. I gave him all my I saved my comic books because I didn't want to throw them away. And then I give them to him and, he doesn't like read them, but like, I think he appreciated having them.
Oh yeah. And who
but-
doesn't like a good Transformers movie? Right? Like Like it is fun. And so I allow myself to have a lot of fun with them. And I think that's infectious. And then the other thing is I've never treated jujitsu like a job. I've never treated working out like a job. Like working out to them is like brushing your teeth. It's like
Hmm.
dad loves, what do you want to do today, dad? Man, I would love to get a workout in versus I have to go work out because they look at it as something that's like fun and a part of life. And I think that shines through.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, when you pull out the Muzan from Demon Slayer, my kid would be like, sometimes we'd be at restaurants. He's huge into anime. He's somehow, I think because of the library on Netflix, and it
Oh,
started like,
yeah.
yeah, like it's a huge, like you were saying with gaming, animes exploded as well. But I know, like, when we've gone to like restaurants, he loves Asian food. We go to some like dim sum place, and sometimes they'll just have like freaking Robotech toys on the freaking shelf. If he saw that Muzan, he'd be like, "Look, that's a trip." I'll say this: I think that at least having a son, and I could really just speak for my son, he would certainly just be into Bobby Maximus because I think you're
Yeah.
just in the big lane. Your lane is very fun. Um, I so we obviously have a lot of dads here, and I know literally when we hung out and did that little Instagram post of working out, I had a friend of mine. He goes, "Oh, I do his workout." You mentioned like I love to work out. I know for some people it's obviously time's an issue, right? So, do you have a recommendation for a 10-minute workout? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, here's the power of math. I got my calculator out here. Let's say for 10 minutes, you did 10 push-ups, 10 squats, and 10 sit-ups every minute on the minute. Now you might not start there. Maybe you're off the couch and you can only do 5, 5, and 5. Maybe you can only do 3, 3, and 3. But it won't be long, I promise you, before you get to 10, 10, and 10. So in 10 minutes, you can do 100 push-ups, you can do 100 squats, you can do 100 sit-ups. So let's do math. You do 100 push-ups a day times 365 days a year. There you go. 36,500 push-ups a year. 36,500 squats, 36,500 sit-ups. You'll be more fit than the average person. You throw a couple of walks in there, you are good to go. People want to complicate this so much. Now, I spend hours in the gym a day because I love it, right? Like it's where I want to be. It's my happy place. People are like, "Do you meditate?" I'm like, "No, not really. I go to the gym and put on some good music and I zone out." Like that's how I meditate and that's how I want to have fun. But yeah, in 10 minutes, if you did 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups by the end of the year, you'd be pretty fit. Like it's literally that simple. So that's like my go-to, some body weight stuff. You can do at the house, you can do anywhere, anytime. You take 10 minutes and you are done.
All right. I feel like, a big thing for you is mental outlook as well, right?
Yep.
What
That's actually not a thing for me. That's the thing for me.
it's
That's
yeah.
the biggest thing. Think about what I said earlier. I have to work out or I get to go work out. I have to play with my kids or I get to
Hmm.
play with my kids. I have to take my kids to the new Minecraft movie or I can't wait to go see the new Minecraft movie. Those are very different mindsets.
Um, I want to talk about a mindset here. What does it mean to have the mindset of being a strong dad? What does that mean to you?
I think the mindset lays in vulnerability. I think one of the problems that a lot of us can relate to that we've had with our dads is dads have to shoulder so much in society. You got to be strong. You're not allowed to be scared. You're not allowed to be anxious. You're not allowed to be worried about money. You just have to handle it because you're the dad and that's what dads do. And you know what dads don't get? Dads don't get complimented enough by their wives. Dads don't get a hug and told, "You're doing a really great job." Dads don't get told, "Man, I see you struggling. It's okay." It's dad's job to just handle stuff. And it really is the most thankless job in the world. And what happens to dads is they almost harden themselves, and they don't want to be vulnerable, and they don't want to be cry. They don't want to cry, and they don't want to admit they're scared, and they don't want to admit. And I think the true strength of being a dad lies in being vulnerable with your kids. It lies in sharing your fears. It lies in normalizing your emotions. I think it lies in, like, there's nothing wrong with kissing your kid on the mouth. There's nothing wrong with asking your kid for a hug. Like, there's nothing wrong. Sometimes I'll say to my 5-year-old, it's like, dude, dad's had a tough day. Can dad have a hug? And he gives me, the little guy you saw here, he gives me the biggest hug. And he goes, it's okay, dad. We're going to figure it out. And I love him so much. He's got the sweetest heart. But I think people have misperceived strength as being this hard person. And that's what that alpha male role will sell you. But I don't think that's strong. I think strong is showing your kids a dose of reality.
Were you I'm curious, you mentioned, like, because we're all kind of talking about, and this is the interesting thing about fatherhood, right? Is like, we've had dads, we are dads. Like, what was that transformation like for you? Like, what lessons did you learn from your own dad? Was there stuff you had to unlearn? How did you kind of get to this place? Because I mean, you seem so kind of like, you know, just at peace and rational about it all. But like, how did you get to this place?
Yeah, so I think for me is, like, I could talk about my childhood, and I had a good relationship with my dad. But the single biggest thing that affected me in my life is my dad died when I was 20 years old. And I didn't have a dad anymore. And I had to go through things like, when I bought a house and I had to change a light fixture by myself, I didn't have a dad to call to ask him, like, hey, dude, how do I do this, right? When I had my first kid, I didn't have a dad to ask questions to. Like, going through what I'm going through with my 16-year-old now, like, he can be a little bit mouthy at times. He's a teenager. Like, he's starting to butt heads with me. And it's like, dad, was I like this? Like, I don't have a dad to call. And the scary thing is I'm 46 years old. My dad died at 49. So, like, I'm very cognizant, like, I might have 3 years left. Probably not. I live better than my dad lived and stuff like that. But the reality is, I could be gone tomorrow. You know how many people die in car accidents every day? You know how many people die in random accidents? Like it just happens.
Yeah.
And so part of me is I've tried to just do the best I can with the time that I have, or the time that I have left, because you don't know when that's gone. And I just want their memory of their dad to be, man, dad was my buddy. Dad loved me. Dad had my back. Like, dad put his work aside to hang out with me. Now, that doesn't mean I can skirt all my responsibilities. Like, I'm not going to tell you I'm perfect. There are days where I'm like, guys, I got to work. You got to go. Right? Like, that happens. But I also try to explain to them, hey, guys, you see these Legos here? Dad would much rather play Uncharted 3 with you. Dad would love to play God of War with you. Dad would love to go see the Demon Slayer movie with you today. But I got to work so we can do this. So you let me work, I'll make it right. Like, that's kind of my philosophy, if that makes sense in a way, is to just be explanatory, because I can't be perfect all the time. There are times I have to go out of town. Like, one of the things that I do, it's actually funny, and we've got that Baradur Legos. We've got the Rivendell Legos. We have the Tower of Sauron, or the Tower of Orthanc. We have the giant Avengers Legos. That's like monstrous. It's that every time I go for a work trip for a week, like, Ali, actually, when I was in Austin, when I saw you, that's what I came home with.
Oh, yeah.
I always tried. Listen, guys, it sucks that Dad's away for a week, but listen, we're gonna earn it, and we come back with something. So the next one, and they know this, I just did a huge ad campaign with the company, and that little one that was here, he asks me all the time. He goes, "When's your check-in?" Well, because I know, because I promised him, Lego released a massive Harry Potter set. It's like $500, and it is literally like Hogwarts, and it is huge.
Yeah.
It takes like months to build, right? He knows when that check comes in, because Dad had to go away for a week, we are getting Hogwarts.
That's,
I love how open you are about money and how it all works. How do you teach? I mean, I imagine it's different for the 16, 8 and 5-year-old, but like, how do you teach your kids about money? Like, what kind of lessons are you
You
imparting
know,
there?
a lot of it is like the stuff that we want to do that's fun is not free. Monster Hunter Wilds costs $70. It is a oh, that video game, man, it blew my mind. But guess what comes out in June? I think June 5th. Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, my kids. He's been talking
We
about
want
it.
it bad, but they know that there's a cost to that. They know that you can't just go grab it, right?
Mm.
They know we got to work for it. So you know what the cost is? Dad's got to do this podcast right now. Like, yes, I would love to see the hoodies Grandpa sent you, but Dad's got to do this podcast. Dad does this podcast. We can go buy Monster Hunter. So the big way, like I try to treat the like teach them is this stuff. It's the first principle of economics. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You want these? Got to pay for it somehow. How are we going to pay for it? You got to give up a bit of time with Dad. Dad would like to do. So I try to give them a very realistic, because I think what happens as we grow old is we live in this world where the grass is always greener, right? We want a lot of money, but then we work all the time and then we're miserable that we don't have any free time, right? We have a lot of free time, but then we're miserable. We don't have any money. And so, like, I think teaching kids at a young age that everything comes with a cost. Like, Allie, I'm going to put it in your world because it's something I'm passionate about. You know what I would love to do? Open a
What?
restaurant.
Oh, dude.
That would be a massive passion for me. You know what I would love? To develop a menu. You know what I would love? To roll in and cook a meal. You know what I wouldn't love? 16 to 20 hours a day. You know what I wouldn't love? Struggling with payroll. You know what I wouldn't love? Setting up the restaurant. You know what I would love? Like, it is so hard to be a chef. It literally takes years off your life. Like, you want to know why there's a lot of chefs that struggle with alcoholism? Because there is so much stress in the industry. But again, you want to be a chef. There's a cost that comes with that. So I try to be very open with them with, you can't just get whatever you want. Like, dude, we got to make sacrifices. For everything we do, there is a cost. Like, for Dad to be able to go to this Star Wars themed thing we went to, Dad's got to work all day Saturday because I can't just bail off work for 2 days. So
Yeah.
I try to be very real with them about them, because I think sometimes as kids, we're taught that the world is unicorns and rainbows and everything's happy and everything's handed to us. And we get smacked in the face with the real world when we're older. And it's a really hard adjustment. So I try to give them a realistic adjustment and live in a world of like, yeah, we're going to work really hard, but we're going to enjoy it too.
Yeah.
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 I love the balance you've got there. I'm actually curious because you've achieved a lot, and you're a competitive guy. Like, what are your thoughts on, balance and moderation? Because I've seen people say, you can't achieve excellence with balance. Like, you have to go
So
full throttle.
yeah. I think balance is BS. I think work-life balance is BS. I think it's something we've been gaslit with and brainwashed with. Balance is whatever makes you happy. If you love working all day, cooking food, man, that's your balance. That's all you need. If you love staying at home all day with your kids, that's the only balance you need. I think people have this idea, and you know who you actually really see it with? You see it with moms. Like I said, dads have it tough. You know who has it tough? Moms. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're garbage because you're not contributing to the economy of the household. If you work all the time, you're garbage because you're neglecting your kids. If you're living in this, like, you can't win. Like, you're always like fighting against society's pressures about you never spend enough time with your kids. You don't make enough money. You don't have a voice. Like, that is hard. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's a really difficult position to be in. And so now you're caught trying to acclimate, or trying to acquiesce is a better word. You're caught trying to acquiesce to society's idea of balance. No, like, go be happy. And if you're happy, you have balance. Like, it's literally that simple.
It's so funny. Bobby Maximus is it's mindset. That's my big takeaway from this. you know.
That's all it is. There's a quote that really affected me about chasing wealth from the Dalai Lama, and it goes something like this, and I'm paraphrasing, but it says that man will spend all of his health trying to chase money, trying to chase wealth, and then the last 5 years of his life, he will spend every dime trying to
Yeah.
get that health back. Just think about that for a second. Like, think about how that would work. And it's like, it's because you live in this perpetual state of never being happy, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing. And so I try to really just show my kids both sides of the equation. Like, yeah, we got to work really hard, but yeah, we can have a lot of fun too. And to know that there's a consequence to your choice.
All right, I think we've got one more question, and this is we're gonna take it back to the typical fun, silly side Neil and I live at, but this mindset stuff I think is just brilliant. I think a lot of dads are gonna get something great out of it. But here's the thing: what is the best cheat meal you can have with your kids? Cheat, Bobby, cheat, cheat.
Oh, so you're not going to like my answer because I actually don't consider this a cheat because it's real ingredients, right? So
Okay.
here's my thing. I don't like the term cheat meals,
Okay.
right? Food shouldn't necessarily be good or bad. Like, a burger's not bad,
Right.
right? If you're eating real Wagyu beef, if you're having a bun made from scratch, that's very different than like a Burger King burger. But by the
Yeah.
way, I would rather have the homemade burger. Like those tacos you took me for in Austin, like, I don't know if I consider that a cheat. That was just tremendous food. But if
Mm.
we're going to go by people's definition of cheat, I think there is nothing more fun than making pizza with your kids. We
You
did
know
this
what?
like a couple of weeks ago. And,
Yeah.
my wife made this dough. We got the sauce, right? We made our own sauce. We got like really good cheese and pepperoni. And it was so fun to watch the little one flatten out the dough, put the sauce on it, put the cheese on it, cook it in the oven, see the fruits of their labor.
Yeah.
It was a really, really fun experience. So much more fun than just going to a restaurant and paying
Right.
with your credit card and having the food delivered. Like that, making pizza with your kids. And I'll say why it's the greatest cheat meal in the world. A, there's no such thing as bad pizza. You melt cheese and sauce on cardboard. If I'm hungry enough, I will eat that and I will love it. And so everybody loves pizza. You ever met a person in your life? Like, if you don't like pizza, you hate the world. You have some darkness inside of you. So, like, and pizza is the universal food of kids. You know who else loves pizza? I showed you this before. These guys, the Ninja
That's
Turtles.
true.
Like, pizza is where it's at. So
That's true.
every kid loves it. It's yummy. You can craft it with your hands. You can turn it into a family thing. There's sauce and cheese flying over. It makes a mess. Like, it's just fun.
I like that your cheat meal for two reasons. One is I remember when we were hanging out and we worked out and we were talking about food and stuff, and I remember you said pizza is a treat, right? Meaning,
Yep.
and explain that, because I think I know what you mean, but explain what that means. Pizza is a treat.
So here's the deal, right? Like, I don't classify stuff as cheats or not cheats because it implies that like the food's bad. I want really high quality, nutrient dense food.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say like it's a treat, at the same time, you can't just eat pizza morning, noon, and night. Like, you're
Right.
going to be over on calories and you are going to get heavier. So really, like, what you got to do is you got to limit the high calorie stuff. You got to limit the stuff that's going to put weight on you. So it becomes a treat that you earn to a degree every so often. And if you're walking, if you're lifting weights, if your weight's on point, like, yeah, eat the pizza, enjoy it, and it's a treat. And there's nothing wrong with treating yourself every single day. Like, if you were going to die tomorrow, how would you eat today? Like, you can have that treat, but you still have to have your hand on the dial a little bit because you can't eat like that all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Now,
it's so
one
funny.
more thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a picture to show you, and this will like drive home my point about cheat meals. This is what your boy made last night.
Oh, yeah. So what do we
Ribeye.
got? Yeah.
So it's a ribeye with butter,
Uh-huh.
Kerrygold butter,
Yeah.
and those are little potatoes. So I took a slicer, a crinkle cut slicer,
Yeah.
cut potatoes super thin,
Yeah.
put them in the air fryer, pulled
Mm.
them out of the air fryer, brushed them with olive oil, put
Yeah.
salt on them, put them back in the air fryer.
Oh,
We're
nice.
talking like an $80 bottle of olive oil. We're
Yeah.
talking like a high-end prime, ribeye steak.
Yeah.
We're talking Kerrygold butter. I don't consider that a cheat.
Yeah.
That's just real good quality ingredients. That is far different. You cannot put that health-wise in the same category as McDonald's.
You know,
Even though it's like a meat and fry. You understand what I'm saying?
of course.
But
Of course.
that's high in calories. So that's kind of like my treat for the day.
It is. It is. But at the same time, it's like, I had a friend of mine, he's a food writer, and he goes, dude, you look so good. And I'm like, oh, he's like, it's like wanting to lose weight. And I'm like, it's all about what you can realistically trim off day over day, week over
Yep.
week, right? He's like,
Yep.
anyone can be like, oh, yeah, I need to go on a diet, eat cauliflower for like 2 meals, and then lose your mind. Like, that's a way
No.
so you
That's
can
not what it's
keep
about.
your
If you want to
sanity,
indulge
right?
a little bit, you
Yeah.
can't indulge. It's kind of like the money example. Bring it back to that.
Yeah,
If I could, I would buy every Lego set that Lego makes.
right.
If I had an unlimited bank account, you know how many of these things I would own? It
Yeah.
would be insane.
Yeah,
I don't. I got to budget somehow, right? Like I'm not Jeff Bezos, right?
Mhm.
So when I buy these, it becomes a treat. When
Yeah.
I buy the Legos, it becomes a treat. Like it's
Right.
something that I celebrate that I earned. That's how I treat food.
Got it. I love the switching of the words from cheat to treat. And then the last thing I'm going to say of this, I think it's brilliant, is that your treat meal was making the pizza, which
Yeah.
is you're involved in the process. Also, it sounds like you're using really really good ingredients, which also gets into your mantra of I want to eat high quality stuff. And
fun.
even if the composition of the food is high in calories, it's still a pretty fair thing. You're not eating empty calories, you're eating real food. And
That's
you
exactly
make
it.
it's a
And we have a
more
lot of
lasting
fun.
experience. Yeah,
It was really good. I'll tell you, I said the greatest feeling in the world was having someone compliment your food. It actually might be when you make something and you take that first bite and you're like, oh man, I nailed this. That's a good,
Sure.
you get that satisfaction, that fun.
I love it's funny, it's happened. I've been talking about this because I did it 2 days ago. I made my kid wanted me to make French fries. He's like, let's make fries. I've never done it before. It was a freaking 9-hour process. We ended up making carne asada fries. It was a lot of work. I didn't realize exactly, I didn't budget the time well. But when it was all said and done, I was really glad to have made it, not because I ate it, but I actually understood intimately what a French fry is all about and why that is a treat. Because, dude, my house smelled like a food truck. It was pretty overwhelming after a while.
The good feelings that you associate with that, you will never forget them. So that's like my philosophy on life. It's like you got to earn it and have some fun. And listen, man, it's cool to work hard, but have some fun along the way. Like that's all it's about. It's about the friends we have, our family, enjoying the things we want to enjoy, and about like, again, I'm cognizant of the fact my dad died at 49. Like,
Yeah.
man, I would live my life a lot different if I knew for sure I was going to die next week. So you can't go crazy. You don't want to spend your life savings, but try to incorporate a little sprinkle of that every day, and you'll be a lot happier, and so will your kids.
There it is. Bobby Maximus, folks.
Bobby Maximus, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing wisdom, and let's do this again sometime soon because this was awesome.
Thank you. I want to leave you with one message. I end
Yeah.
every podcast I do with this message, and I think it's important for people to hear. It's that mentality of I get to versus I have to. There are times I've done hundreds and hundreds of podcasts where I get in that feeling like, ugh, I got to go home and do a podcast again. Right? When you've done like your fourth one in a week, you're like, oh, I got to go talk to these. I stop. I just center myself for a minute. And I think back, man, it had to be 2009, maybe 2007, maybe 2005. I don't even remember. But I remember how I felt the very first time somebody asked to interview me.
Hmm.
And you know how good that felt? That somebody wanted to talk to me, that someone wanted to hear me speak. Like, okay, and I put myself back in that place. Like, I get to go do this. So what I'm trying to say is, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, it's an honor and a privilege that you guys chose me to talk to, that you thought that like what I had to say or add was valuable enough that you would put me on your platform and spend an hour of your time with me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for making me happy, because that's the stuff that makes me feel happy. You added to my day, you added to my week, my month, my life. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Really, that's really kind. Thank you for
Hell
saying that.
yeah. Damn.